Again, Adam Wason, Public Works Director for the City of Bloomington. It's October 22nd, 2024, 5:31 p.m., and this is the regularly scheduled Board of Public Works meeting. I'll turn it over to Kyla Cox-Deckard.
All right. Before we start our regular business, okay, that would be great. First, we will call this meeting to order. It's Tuesday, October 22nd of 2024. We are here for the regular meeting of the Board of Public Works. First up is messages from board members. Do we have any messages from the board?
I have none.
Seeing none. Next is Title VI abatements. Title VI abatement for 1520 South Woodruff Lane Road.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Davis from Housing and Neighborhood Development. I'm Neighborhood Compliance Officer. I'm here to request continuous abatement at a property 1520 South Woodruff Lane. I started issuing notices of violation on the 13th of August. I issued a total of 5 all the way up until September 27th, where they were notified that I would be coming before the board here today to request the abatement, permission to abate. And that are those are the violations are 6.06.020 and 6.06050.
Thank you. Are there questions on this item?
Yesterday during the work session, you said that you heard from the homeowners or the property owners after that first violation. Is that the only time? Have you heard from them since?
That is correct. It was when I issued the first violation, we spoke.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any public comments on this item? And again, if you're on Zoom and would like to make a public comment, you can use the raised hand function or the chat function to let us know. All right, seeing none, is there a motion on this item?
I move that we approve the Title VI abatement at 1520 South Woodruff Lane Road.
Nice second. We have a motion and a second. I will call the roll. Crone?
Aye.
Cox-Deckard, aye. Motion passes. Next up is petitions and remonstrances. If anyone would like to make a public comment about something not on the agenda, now is the opportunity to do so. Again, if you're on Zoom, you can use the raised hand function or the chat function to let us know if you'd like to make a comment about something not on the agenda this evening. Okay. Seeing none. Next is the consent agenda. Under the consent agenda is the approval of minutes for October 8th of 2024. Resolution 2024-074, renew mobile vendor planted Bloomington. Extension for near West Side roundabout murals. Approve Beeline extension change orders number 3 and number 4 for Milestone Contractors. Approve Amendment 2 to on-call engineering service contract with REA. Approve First Street reconstruction project change order number 5 for Milestone Contractors. Approve closure request for Bynum Fanyo and Associates, and approval of payroll. Do we have any items that need to be removed from the consent agenda this evening? Okay, seeing that. Are there any public comments on the consent agenda or any of the items? All right, seeing none. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve the consent agenda for tonight's meeting of October 22nd, 2024.
And I second. I will call the roll. Crone?
Aye.
Cox-Deckard, aye. Motion passes. Next up is new business. First under new business is approve amendment number 3 to 2019 agreement, additional City Works AMS inspection and work orders, APIs for Public Works.
Adam Wason, Public Works Director. This is a small request for a cost of about $2,999.32 for us to be able to integrate some of our applications that we use through our ITS department with our asset management system. So this allows us to integrate things like our U-Report or our utilities software into our asset management system, CityWorks. And these are this is to fund the APIs, the agreements for allowing those to interact. So we request your approval and happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Questions on this item? Any, no public comments on Zoom? Okay. And I don't see anyone in the room who might be waiting to give a public comment, so seeing none. Do we have a motion on this item?
I move that we approve Amendment Number 3 to the 2019 Agreement of Additional City Works AMS Inspection and Work Orders APIs for Public Works.
And I second. I will call the roll. Corone?
Aye.
Cox-Deckard, aye. Motion passes. Next is sidewalk closure and driveway installation for Green Clean Car Wash Blackwell Contractors.
Good evening, Adam Wason, Public Works Director. On behalf of Alex Gray with our engineering department, this is a request from Blackwell Contractors for some a sidewalk closure as part of driveway improvements that they're making on West 3rd Street as part of the new site for the Green Clean Car Wash. Good news is we've discussed and gotten more information from the petitioner, and they are not going to need as much time and won't need to get out into actual 3rd Street for the coordination with CBU, so that was good news. But this will take place starting probably next week now, and we'll have the sidewalk closures and driveway installation in coordination and in advance of our West 3rd Street maintenance project. So we request your approval and happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Questions on this item? Okay. Any public comment on this item? Thank you. All right, seeing none, is there a motion on this item?
I would like to make a public comment.
On item number 2, under new business?
Please be advised that your public comments need to pertain to the item on the agenda, Mr. Davis.
Yes, my name is Joe Davis, and I oppose the sidewalk closure and driveway installation for Green Clean Car Wash because it's very similar to what happened to me today. The City of Bloomington Department of Hand came on my sidewalk to my driveway, and they invaded my property and took away probably $50,000 to $80,000
Mr. Davis,
of my personal materials.
Mr. Davis, I'm going to ask that you.
And I imagine that the same thing could happen to Blackwell Contractors.
Mr. Davis, your
Their
comments
stuff,
do not
their
pertain.
tools, like mine, could be stolen. Their materials to improve their property could be stolen by the city, just like what happened to me today.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
I believe that they should lawyer up before they begin any work, because the city of Bloomington are a bunch of bullies, and they have no respect for due course of law. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. All right, do we have a motion on this item?
I move that we approve the sidewalk closure and driveway installation for Green Clean Car Wash for Blackwell Contractors.
And I second. I will call the roll. Corone?
Aye.
Cox-Deckard, aye. Motion passes. Next up is approved contract with Presidio for Fire Station Number 1.
Great. Adam Wason again, Public Works Director, on behalf of J.D. Boroff, our Operations and Facilities Director. This is a contract with Presidio, Inc. for $19,667.69 for installation of technology hardware and software at Fire Station Number 1 as part of the remodel project. The Presidio is our contractor for all things like door controls and some of our camera infrastructure and such. So we are asking your approval of this as part of the Fire Station 1 rebuild project.
Thank you. Questions on this item?
I have no questions, just a comment. Kudos to the city. I walk by the fire station repeatedly on a pretty regular basis. It looks fantastic, so congratulations on a good project.
We'll make sure you get the invite for the ribbon cutting. It's coming up.
Thanks. Any public comments on this item?
No comments on Zoom.
Again, I am uncertain whether or not the contract should be approved with Presidio until they lawyer up, because the city of Bloomington will come in and take their tools, just like they did mine today. They will potentially come in and steal the salvaged metal off of the back of their trucks that they're prepared to take away after their work is done. The city of Bloomington stole my salvaged metal off of the back of my truck parked on the street. One of my only means of earning a living, that and selling my blood plasma. Salvaging metal and selling my plasma. I sure hope the Presidio folks do not have to rely on this to earn their living and conduct their business, because they are at risk. Just like I was horribly violated earlier today. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Do we have a motion on this item?
I move that we approve the contract with Presidio for Fire Station Number 1.
And I second. I will call the roll. Carone?
Aye.
Cox-Deckard, aye. Motion passes. Next, we have approved contract with Corson Fire and Security LLC for Morton Street Garage fire pipe replacement.
Good evening again. Adam Wason, Public Works Director, on behalf of Jess Goodman with our parking garage manager. So this is to remove and replace our fire lines in the Morton Street parking garage as part of some upgrades that we've been undertaking with the maintenance of that facility. This is a contract with Corson Fire and Security for the amount of $34,530, and we request your approval.
Thank you. Questions on this item?
I have none.
Any public comments on this item?
Mr. Davis, please be reminded that your comments should be only specific to this agenda item.
I believe the Corson is making a grave mistake to do work for the city. They could be subject to having their tools and their materials stolen from them while they are on site, just like my tools and materials were stolen from me this morning, totaling up probably $50,000 to $80,000 worth of equipment that I rely on to earn my living.
That your comments need to be about this agenda item.
I believe that they are making a grave mistake to do work for the city. The city cannot be trusted. They cannot be trusted. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a motion on this item?
I move that we approve the contract with Corson Fire and Security LLC for the Morton Street Garage fire pipe replacement.
And I second. I will call the roll. Carone?
Aye.
Cox Deckard, aye. Motion passes. Next, we have approved contract with Man Plumbing, Inc. for Morton Street Garage water lines replacement.
Good evening again. Adam Wason, Public Works Director, on behalf of Jess Goodman, our parking garage manager. So the Morton Street garage water lines are in need of removal and replacement as part of our maintenance effort. The water lines in the southeast and northwest stairways will be replaced with PEX lines instead of the galvanized copper, or the copper lines that we have right now. Overall, we will remove the water lines in both stairways, replace them with the new lines, install hydrants on every level of the parking garage and each stairwell, reuse all the hangers, and remove all the old material. This would go to Man Plumbing, Inc. in the amount of $16,000, and we request your approval.
Thank you. Questions on this item?
Just pull me the packet.
Okay.
No questions.
All right. Any public comments on this item?
Yes, my name is Joe Davis, and I believe Dave Mann should really question working with the city and the Morton Street Garage project. Dave has been a longtime advisor, consultant with me in my building business. They are liable to have their conduit, their water piping stolen by the city while they're on site, just like what happened to me this morning. My conduit, my materials for my solar installation, which Amy helped me with from Man Plumbing, stolen. The city cannot be trusted. Dave Mann would do better to conduct his business elsewhere. Thank you.
Is there a motion on this item?
I move that we approve the contract with Man Plumbing, Inc. for the Morton Street Garage water lines replacement.
And I second. I will call the roll. Carone?
Aye.
Cox Deckard, aye. Motion passes. Next up, we have staff reports and other business.
Adam Wason, Public Works Director for the City of Bloomington. Just wanted to start out my staff report today just with condolences to Board Member James Roach for a loss that their family has recently suffered. We're all thinking about them and send all of our thoughts to them as they're having a difficult time. So just wanted to make note of that and send our condolences to James and his family. Beyond that, I wanted to make a quick update to the sidewalk report that we presented last week. We are going to be moving forward with some bids for some projects on Kirkwood. So I was wondering how this was going to show up tonight, but basically we'll be doing some sidewalk maintenance work around the library, on Grant Street, and on Kirkwood. So these older concrete sidewalks will get ADA ramp improvements here, as well as remove a lot of trip hazards associated with some of the tree plots and some of the heaving of the concrete. So we'll be doing that on what would be the east side of the library, along the west side of Grant Street, and then along the north side of Kirkwood in front of the library as well. So you can see probably in the next picture highlighted some of the yellow paint with some of those trip hazards in that area. Beyond that, we're going to be moving up to Kirkwood and near the Indiana intersection. There's a couple trees here with the tree grates and the concrete that have been trip hazards that we've been trying to do some basic maintenance on, but this will be a project where we put back some stamped concrete and redo the tree plots. We'll also be on the south side of Kirkwood near Carmichael Center and headed further east with some brick replacement with replacing the old brick sidewalks with the stamped concrete as well. Here's a good example of where we've repeatedly replaced bricks and they continually go missing. So just updating the board with that. And then if you could move along a little bit further to the map here. That's not quite big enough, but this area is along 11th Street from Fairview over to Adams. We're going to be moving some money from a program, our sidewalk participation program that we've not been able to get fully utilized this year, into improving some ADA ramps in the 11th Street corridor in advance of a paving project next year. So we're going to contract 22 locations for ramp improvements here between Fairview and Adams on 11th Street. So just providing the board that update today. At the next meeting, we'll update the resolution that was passed and provide and request your approval of that updated resolution. Just a note of how we prioritize these sorts of things. The Kirkwood one, we had some one-time dollars this year that became available through our 2024 budget for sidewalk maintenance based on some of the conditions that have changed down on Kirkwood. Certainly prioritized that based on the amount of pedestrian traffic and such. So we also had a trip and fall case that in one of those locations that we wanted to make sure we rectified. So that's what we're doing with those, and we appreciate the board's support with all of our efforts there, and we'll bring back a resolution at the next meeting.
Thank you. Next up is approval of claims. Are there any questions on the claims? All right. Any public comments on claims?
Joe Davis. I doubt the veracity of these claims if they were at all generated by the city of Bloomington, because they basically lie through their teeth and manipulate and utilize their departments as clubs, as political weapons to squash any dissent, any critique. I distrust any claims presented. They need to be looked into because the truth is something that is seldom seen in this local government. Has its own agenda. It is only out to support itself. It has lost the reality that it was created by the people to serve the people. That its elected officials were elected by the people to serve the people. Its appointed representatives also have a duty of care to the people
Mr. Davis,
who
just
created
that your comments
this
will be on the
government.
claims and the agenda item on the floor.
I strongly ask that these claims not be accepted as is, that there be a fuller investigation as to the accuracy of these claims. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a motion on the claims?
I approve claims this evening in the amount of $1,607,895.86.
Nice second. I will call the roll. Carone?
Aye.
Cox-Deckard, aye. Motion passes. And seeing that there's nothing else, I will call for adjournment.